Hi, this is Dina for Splitcoaststampers. In this video, I'll show you 2 ways to create gatefold cards using dies, and I'll share some tips along the way. For the first style, you'll need a single-edged border die to create a decorative opening. For the base, you'll need a piece of cardstock that is 5.5 by 11 or 12. Either size will work. You'll score at 3 3/4 and 8 inches. And you'll fold the sides in, and that's going to create an A2 base with panels that overlap in the front like a trifold card. Center that card base on your die cutting platform and open it up. And here's where you'll need a border die with just one cutting edge. The one that I've used here is actually a hill die from Impression Obsession. So you'll center the die with the cutting surface up and tape it into place. I've cut a panel to use on the front of my card, but I'm going to layer it inside for cutting. That piece is 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches, and I'm centering it over the die, and I'll tape that in place as well. Next, you'll want to close the flaps of the card one over the other, doesn't matter which one goes down first, and run that through the die cutting machine. The die should cut through all the layers if you're using a lighter weight cardstock like I am here. If your card is heavier weight, you may need to remove the paper inside and take a second run, and you may even need to cut one flap at a time. And with the die taped in place inside, you should be able to cut the flaps separately without a problem. The die is going to leave a burnished line on the inside of your card, which you can cover with a panel of cardstock, but your opening should match up perfectly. These cut pieces from the overlapping flaps can be used for layers if you want. They will match those cut lines too, but they might need a little trimming on the straight sides. The piece that you layered and cut inside the card will give you layering pieces for the front of your card, and those can line up with the outside folds or the inside cut line. That's completely up to you. I lined up the panels with the folds, so I had a little border on the cut line, and I like how that looks. For my card, I made a little belly band using a matte board art square from Inchy Arts and a scallop die cut. You can also use a single panel that overlaps the cut line for a focal image, and if you do that, just be sure that the adhesive is only on one side of the cut line. For the second card style, you'll start with a standard A2 gatefold base, so that's 5.5 by 8.5, and you'll score at 2 1/8 and 6 3/8 inches. Your scoreboard may have markings at those measurements to help you. I know mine does. Fold in the sides like we did before, and they should meet in the middle in a classic gatefold. For this card, we're going to create a shaped opening on the cut line, and this works really well with nesting dies. I'm using a square die for mine. To center the die, flip open one flap of the card and line up the center of the die with the edge of the panel with the cutting surface against the card. And you're going to tape that into place. Then when you close the flap, the die will be in the middle with the cutting surface up, and you can just close the other flap in. For this card, you'll center the layering panel on the outside of the card and tape it into place. And it doesn't need the center line cut yet because we're going to do something else with it first. Go ahead and die cut that, and you'll have your panel with a centered opening and the base with the shape centered on the cut line. On the layering panel, I'm taking a slightly larger square die and centering it around the opening, and that's going to give me a little border around the window that will really highlight it nicely. Tape that in place and run it through the die cutting machine, and then you'll see how that will lay on the card. Line up the center of the panel on your trimmer to create a cut, and then adhere those panels to the front panels of the card. I'm going to use the first piece that I cut from the layering panel as a layer on the inside of my card, and that's really easy to line up with the opening because it's the same shape. Since I'm using a square for my opening, it was really easy to just layer an art square for my center panel. If you've used nesting dies, just use the next size down to create a layering panel for your opening. Here's my completed card. I used a stamp from the cat's pajamas on a Twinchy square. And again, you could just use another nesting die for that panel and that would work perfectly. Hope you enjoyed these little tweaks to our classic gatefold cards, and I thank you so much for watching.